I still remember the day my world came crashing down. The woman I planned to spend my life with was not the person I thought she was. My name is Alex, and this is the story of how I discovered my fiancée. Clara was cheating on me, and how I chose a path of calculated patience over impulsive revenge. We had been together for 5 years. 5 years of shared dreams, laughter, and building a life together. We were just months away from our wedding. The venue was booked, the guest list was finalized, and her dress was hanging in our closet, a white beacon of our supposed future. I was completely head over heels in love. Looking back, maybe that was the problem. I was so blinded by love that I missed all the signs. It started with small things. Late nights at work that became more frequent. Phone calls she'd take in the other room, her voice dropping to a whisper. A sudden obsession with her phone, which was now always password protected and face down on the table. When I'd ask, she'd wave it off. "It's just work stress, honey," she'd say, or "you know how my boss is." I wanted to believe her. I loved her. I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? The doubt began as a tiny seed. It was planted one evening when she came home late, smelling faintly of a cologne that wasn't mine. It was a musky, expensive scent, completely different from my own fresh, clean fragrance. She said she'd had drinks with her colleagues. I nodded, but that seed of doubt started to sprout. I decided to do something I never thought I would. I checked our shared phone records. My hands were shaking as I logged in, and there it was. It's not just one call, but dozens, all to the same number. Texts, too. Hundreds of them day and night. The number belonged to a man named Marcus, a senior partner at her firm. He was older, wealthier, and married. My first instinct was pure white-hot rage. I wanted to smash things. I wanted her to feel a fraction of the pain I was feeling, that gut-wrenching, soul-crushing agony of betrayal. But as I sat there, the phone clutched in my hand, another thought began to form. What would that accomplish? A messy public scene? It would give her the satisfaction of seeing me broken. It would make me look like the crazy, jealous fiancé. She didn't deserve my rage. She deserved something colder, something more calculated. I did nothing. I swallowed my pain, buried my anger, and continued to play the part of the loving, oblivious fiancée. Every "I love you" from her felt like a stab to the heart. Every touch felt like a lie. It was torture. I had to smile while my world was collapsing. I had to plan our wedding knowing it would never happen. I started gathering evidence, not out of spite, but for my own protection. I saved the phone records. I took discreet screenshots of their flirty text exchanges that she carelessly left open on her laptop. One message burned itself into my memory. "Come, wait to get rid of Alex and be with you properly." The coldness of it was staggering. I wasn't a person to her anymore. I was an obstacle. I also started quietly untangling our lives. We had a joint savings account for the wedding and our future home. I went to the bank and, with the help of a very understanding manager who I confided in, I legally separated my funds. I moved all my contributions, every penny I had worked for, into a new account under my name only. I documented everything. Next, I spoke to the wedding vendors. One by one, I explained the situation, providing just enough information to show I was the wronged party. Surprisingly, most of them were incredibly sympathetic, because I had paid most of the deposits from my own funds before we merged our savings. I was able to either get a full refund or transfer the credit for future use, citing the unforeseen circumstances of a broken engagement. The venue, the caterer, the photographer canceled it all. Clara, completely oblivious, thought everything was still on track. The most difficult part was the apartment. The lease was in both our names. That moment came 2 weeks before our scheduled wedding day. Clara had been especially distant, her phone buzzing constantly with messages from Marcus. She was getting bolder, more careless. She told me she was going on a work retreat for the weekend. I knew exactly what that meant. A romantic getaway with her lover. A final fling before she was supposed to chain herself to me. While she was gone, I executed my plan. I packed all of her belongings. Every piece of clothing, every shoe, every makeup item, every book. I boxed it all up neatly. I didn't destroy anything. That wasn't the point. I was methodical, detached. Then, I packed my own things. I hired movers, and in the space of a few hours, I emptied my half of our life from that apartment. I left it almost bare. The only things remaining were her boxes, stacked neatly in the living room in a single envelope on top. She would have walked in, expecting me to be on the couch waiting for her. Inside the envelope, there were 3 things. First, a printout of the phone records and screenshots of her texts with Marcus. No angry words, just the cold, hard evidence. Second, a copy of the new single-occupancy lease agreement for the apartment. I had negotiated with the landlord to have my name removed, leaving her solely responsible for the full, hefty rent starting the next day. The third and final item was a simple note. It didn't say "I hate you" or "How could you?" It just said, "I know. The wedding is off. The apartment is all yours. I hope it was worth it. Goodbye, Alex." I had my phone turned off that night. I didn't want to hear her frantic calls or angry texts. I stayed at a friend's place, the first true friend who knew the whole story. The next day, I got a flood of messages from her family and our mutual friends. Clara had spun a tale about me getting cold feet and abandoning her. But I had my own evidence. I calmly explained the situation to our closest friends and family, sharing just enough of the truth to counter her lies. The fallout for her was swift and brutal. His marriage ended in a very messy, very public divorce. His career took a major hit, and Clara, she was left with nothing. Some might say what I did was cruel, but I don't see it that way. I didn't seek revenge in a fit of rage. I protected myself. I extricated myself from a toxic situation with precision and self-respect. My revenge wasn't a loud, fiery explosion. It was the quiet, satisfying click of a door closing on a life I no longer wanted. I took back my future, my finances, and my dignity. And that, I've come to realize, is the sweetest revenge of all. It took time to heal, but today, I'm happier than I've ever been, and I'm building a new life, one based on honesty and genuine love. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever been through something similar, know that you're not alone and that your dignity is worth fighting for. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.